Welcome.
Welcome!
Welcome.
Welcome!
Welcome.
You stopped.
I cheated. The Danica Daycast.
Danica Daycast!
Episode 17.
Oh.
That's impressive.
We're old.
We've done 17. 17 isn't old. 42 is old. But we've I think I said many episodes ago, I saw something where someone said many podcasts stop around 8 episodes or something, some number around that. But we've kept going and growing. We have proceeded. And yeah, I think it's cool. I'm digging this. I'm glad we decided to do the podcast. You know, because it's something that we like. We kind of were like, should we not? A little bit last year. One of the concerns though was that this would take up too much time, and it has taken up all my time.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it. I like that the content that we're making is just whatever's going on in our brains at the time.
Yeah, I guess it's keeping you busy.
Well, it's not just keeping me busy. It introduces people to us, who we are, what we're about, what your art looks like, the art that you can buy at danicadaydreams.ca.
Yeet.
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 Collection 5.
Bringing joy to me and you.
And you. So no, I'm glad this is a route that we went. It does mean though that other stuff that I was working on before is always pushed a little bit to the side.
Yeah, Daniel, everybody's waiting for collection.
The collection 5 video,
Yeah.
which is only
Everybody's waiting. You're making everybody wait, Daniel.
if I did it like the other collections, it would have been out on Black Friday, which is what, mid to late November 20-something. 20-something, is that what they say? But really, in the end, when it comes out, it's probably going to come out a week before we announce collection 6.
Yeah.
But the collection 6 art is coming together well. Is there anything that you want to say about it without revealing what it is, or even what? Because we haven't even said what the theme of collection 6 is,
Yeah.
and we can't announce that yet because that comes at the end of the collection 5
you're a
video.
party pooper.
But we have the rest of our year planned. We know the art. I mean, we don't know what the exact art will look like, but we know what or the theme of future 2023 art's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's cool, and it's something that one cool thing is we've been hinting at, I can just say it, we've been hinting at collection 7 since collection 1.
Yeah.
Right, all of our videos, I think all of our videos have had a reference, and the story that we tell is going towards there. I'm not saying that's the end point, but I'm saying that's where it's stepping towards. So collection 6 gets us one step closer, and then collection 7 is something we're going to have lots of fun with.
So boo boo boo.
But collection 6 is going to be cool. Collection 6 is going to be cool. I'm trying to be careful of what I want to say, and if I start saying too much, you can tell me to shut up. But
Do you want me to talk about it without revealing anything?
yeah.
You don't trust yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. I also when I edit this podcast, I just see the audio waves. And it's oh, there was me talking for 10 minutes straight. Monica got 20 seconds in, and then there's me for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, Daniel,
So-
you bad cookie.
I have a bad habit of hijacking the conversation. So please, just tell me just give me your thoughts on stuff and say what you want to say about collection 6.
I feel like I've been I feel like it's been going faster.
With the collection 6 art?
Yeah, the editing and everything. I'm finding the mistakes and I'm fixing them faster than I did before.
That's awesome.
And you have more input now, so it's more
Yeah.
I tell you oh, I think I should change this, and then you agree, and then
Yeah, totally.
stuff happens. You
Yeah.
know.
No, it's cool. It's cool because we'll both come up with ideas after you've done the initial thing, which the initial thing
Yeah, and then it the input you put in makes it better, and then me
Yeah.
too. Like you always see ways that it could be better.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I know even with this one that you're wearing right now, the
Yeah.
Great Apple Harvest.
I think it was a different drawing at first, and then you said
We changed quite a lot about it,
yeah.
but I think like the general idea was still there. But
Yeah, we just
did she have a pencil originally?
yeah, she had a pencil.
She had a pencil, but it looked like she was looking through it like a telescope.
Yeah, it was a telescope pencil thing.
And the bears, I think I asked you to redraw most, if not all, of the bears. That was one of the big things that changed.
well,
Definitely some of them.
I think there was these two that stayed the same. I think it's more this one that changed.
And we had a discussion on the amount of bugs that were crawling up here. I think you originally
Yeah.
had just like one or two of them, or you either had too many or not enough. I can't remember.
But this one wasn't there. This bug here.
yeah,
He wasn't there. It was a bear.
yeah.
But you said to put a bug there since there was so many other bugs.
Yeah, I think we wanted
Yeah.
something to kind of connect it to the bugs.
Exactly.
I think that was it. I think
So
originally
buggies.
you just had
The
like
buggies.
2 bugs on that shirt. And I think my feedback was either like, you know, either really
I don't
show
know if
them.
That helps.
Yeah. But my feedback was like either really show them or
Or if it's because if you put only a tiny bit, it's not the whole package.
yeah, it was either
It doesn't make sense why they're there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it needed to kind of fit. And if it's just like a one-off, then it doesn't always fit. So yeah, it was either add more to it or just get rid of them in total. But I really did like the idea of the
Yeah.
bugs.
But she's more like a statue person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they're all living in.
I like that.
She's the big rock face.
The big rock face. Penelope 2.0, as some people called it when we did the Collection 5 live stream.
I don't see.
You don't see the Penelope connection?
No.
I can see it. I think
Is it 'cause it's more like focused on her face?
yeah, I think the face is a big part of it, and it's that kind of. I guess she's smiling in this one, but Penelope has kind of like a stoic look. It's like all about the look in the eyes too.
Yeah. But in Penelope, you can see it in the eyes, like she's gonna come for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always love doing those live streams. It's always a cool time. So Collection 6 is coming along well. We're working together more than ever. In some ways, with other stuff, I'm too busy with the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I help you nowadays more with the big errors, where before I was helping you more with, like, the little stuff, more like the nitpicky stuff. Or not errors. Errors isn't the right word, but, like, I offer suggestions over, like, bigger details. And it used to be then, once we got all the big details down, we would bounce back and forth files. I would check, you would fix, you would check, you'd fix, and bounce back and forth and forth and forth.
Yeah, but I feel like when it's just me, then I have a better time knowing like what needs to be done.
That's
other
fair.
than like, oh, whoa, I pass it on, and then what do I do?
Yeah. No, that's fair. And I'm busy away editing these, but this is fun. So Collection 6 going well. You got any other thoughts and feelings on it?
I love the colors that I'm using in this collection.
Yeah.
I feel like I always try to be like really vibrant with all my colors.
Yeah.
And like I feel like with this collection it was
With
very,
Collection
like,
5?
Yeah, with Collection 5 I feel like it was very like strong, like there's
Yeah,
like
this
vibrant
stuff pops.
These like like but a lot more like brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for the bears, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, that makes sense.
And more green, I think.
But it's just cool to see. It's cool to see you develop your skills. And, gotta just grow over time. And it's cool to see where this weird little business of ours will take us, I still find it wild that we've been a business, like it's been about 1.5 years since we launched. It'll be 1.5 years next month, I guess. Yeah. October 2021. When I think like we launched in October, in my mind, it's still last October. Like I'm like, yeah, we've been around for like 5-6 months now. You know, but no, we've been doing
No,
this for a minute.
we're growing old.
We're not
Soon you'll
42.
need a cane and you'll be playing bingo.
That sounds great. That sounds great.
You'll be shouting. You'll be one of the bitter ones though. You'll be like yelling bingo and you haven't won yet.
I've never. Does that work? Is that like a bingo strategy?
I know I'm gonna win, so I'm gonna yell bingo right now.
Just yell, see if no one notices. They're like, we've only called out 4 numbers. You can't have a bingo. You can have a bing. God damn. Gotta wait for one more. 17. Bingo. I never liked. My issue with bingo was always like I was a little too shy to yell out bingo.
Why?
Because like then it's a thing.
You weren't like, oh my god, bingo, and then you like take off your shirt and you're like
No,
stripping.
that's the
Ripping
opposite.
off your shirt. You're like bingo.
No. And I'm also talking about when I was in like 2nd grade or something.
I don't know. My brain just went straight to like you just like ripping your shirt and saying
No,
bingo.
I would not do that. Once again, I thought just saying bingo was too big of a move. I wouldn't be like shirt ripping. I'm not bingo. And then I have to buy a new shirt.
But it was worth it, right?
I haven't done it, so I can't tell you.
It would be worth it because you just won bingo and then everybody gets to see what's underneath your shirt.
Okay, but what's this? So if I go down to the bingo hall today, okay, I yell bingo, I rip my shirt off,
Yeah.
and you don't
Totally
think I'll get
totes.
immediately kicked out for that?
I don't know.
This is like
No.
your winning bingo
I
strategy?
don't know. I'm not there, you know.
And why would I do this? What's the advantage other than just to create a little spectacle?
Because you gotta live life and shout when you're winning and make a scene when you're winning.
Can I do that with my shirt on?
No, you gotta take your shirt off.
I see. I see. Bingo! But if the prize is a new shirt, then it works out great.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, although I guess you really just even out.
Just-
You go back to zero again. It's like those like scratch off tickets, but your prize is you get another free ticket. That's the equivalent, you know?
Oh,
It
no.
cost you a shirt, but you got a new shirt. So you just got to keep this thing going. You know what I'm like excited for?
What?
The new Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4. Although I think it's just going to be called Budokai Tenkaichi. But they're like bringing that game back. I would like, as long as you've known me, I've been like showing you like, oh, I'll fire it up on this console. I'll do this. Budokai Tenkaichi 3. That game. I hope that with the new one they come out, they'll have like almost as big of a roster as before. I think that might be asking like a little bit too much.
It's just not that great because you keep on
What do you
beating
mean?
me. It's just like
That's
no, it's just like not a great experience. Like it's a great game, but it's just not a great experience for me
you
because
just gotta
then
learn how to
I
play
get
it.
kicked off every time.
Just
and
learn
then
how to
I
play it.
just lose big time, and you're just like ha ha ah ha ha, ee." And then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna lose again.
You just gotta learn how to play it. I think it's a great game. And the cool thing too is like somebody made like a fan mod of it called Budokai Tenkaichi 4 that like added in some additional characters and added in, I think they added like a new like story mode to it too that goes into like super. So like fans were like, the official companies aren't going to continue this thing, so we will. And then after all these years,
Wasn't
Somebody's
there
trying to take
like
it
a thing that you could put like other characters in there in Spanish or something?
yeah, you're thinking of I have like a Dragon Ball. I have a mod of that game, but it's for Dragon Ball AF. And I'll talk about Dragon Ball AF in a second. But yeah, basically it adds like a lot of like fan characters, like Zykor and Eyes, that kind of thing. And Also, there's some weird characters in there too. Like there was like
But then
Spider-Man,
their
but like a
voices
Christmas outfit. But yeah, but everything's like
in
voiced in
Spanish,
Spanish.
and
Yeah.
it's like different. It sounds different.
Yeah, some of them you can tell was like recorded with like a cheap microphone.
Yeah.
But it's honestly it's a blast. And the new game I'll probably want to get on PC because I'll probably want to like be able to like mod characters in because I want some of that. But Dragon Ball AF was great.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball AF, and like for those of you who don't know, so Dragon Ball AF is like a fan manga. It started with this picture that was in I think it was published in some like Spanish magazine or something like that. Of this guy drew a character that looked like it was Goku, but he had like long spiky white hair, like red skin and everything. And everyone was saying like, "Oh, that's Super Saiyan 5 Goku." And this was like I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s, might have been the year 2000. But it was the days where like the internet was new ish. So people would be posting online and like the rumors would start to spread about, hey, I got a friend in Japan. He saw this. He saw this thing and he tells me that they're making a new Dragon Ball series and this is what it's going to be. So a lot of people got like tricked into thinking it was a thing, and they're like fan theories of like what the show could be about and what yada yada yada. In the end, there's no official Dragon Ball product called Dragon Ball AF. Does not exist. But the cool thing is though, there were there are a few different like fan mangas that try to envision what the story would be after Dragon Ball GT, because that's the furthest the timeline goes. And when GT ended, there was really no sign of them continuing that story anywhere. So one of them is by a guy called Young Gigi, which is like still going on to this day. I think it's like 23 volumes in. His is all right, but my issue is like his his villains are normally like copies of like other villains. Like the first one is Eyes, who's like I think he's supposed to be like Frieza's brother or something. But the story is that like the longer that they like sleep for, the stronger they become. And like Frieza only slept a little bit, but Eyes slept a lot. So like he's like super strong and whatnot. But the other one that's really cool. So they did a few arcs of that and it is worth reading, but they do that. They retread like the Black Star Dragon Ball saga, but then they have like different dragons that come up, different shadow dragons, but still a lot of it's pretty similar and a lot of it seems like he either just copied one character and tried to change it a little bit, or he like took a little bit from one thing, a little bit from another, and mixed it, but it doesn't feel as original. The other one I really like though is Dragon Ball AF by Toyble. So Toyble's Dragon Ball AF is really cool because in Toyble's AF, Zykor, who's supposed to be like the son of Goku, because it's supposed to be like the Western Supreme Kai, stole some of his DNA or whatever, created a son. So it's half like Supreme Kai, half Goku. He comes down to Earth. Everyone's got to like beef up and like fight him, and it looks like he's getting like really really good. And they do some cool stuff, like they do. Everybody needs to hold, all Saiyans need to hold a Dragon Ball, and they'll be able to bring like Goku back from the dead and everything else. But the issue is like he got like 4.5 volumes in, and then he just stopped because he was good enough that he got hired to do like official Dragon Ball stuff. And first he was doing like a Dragon Ball Heroes manga, but then he was hired to do like the Dragon Ball Super manga. And he no longer goes by the name Toyble. Now it's a guy called Toyotaro. But yeah, it's just Dragon Ball AF is cool. Dragon Ball AF. I hope Toyble, Toyotaro, wherever you want to call him, hope he finishes it one day. He almost definitely won't. But yeah, it's a cool time. It's a cool time.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, don't know much about all that.
It's okay. It's not canon anyways. It's just like fan made stuff, but it's well made. It's well made.
I liked the last movie we saw.
Yeah, with Dragon Ball Super Superhero.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
The title is a bit weird, but
yeah, but it felt very like Akira Toriyama. Like it felt very much like his like sense of humor and like the kind of stuff like he's into.
But yeah, I thought it was really funny.
Yeah. And like spoiler alert, but you have like Orange Piccolo show up and everything, and
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Well, the piccolo had to be in there, or else all the, you know, the sexiness gets
Yeah,
chopped
you need
out.
Piccolo to bring the
Yeah.
sexiness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. You have that sparkle in your eye thinking, "Oh, Piccolo."
Oh, piccolo.
Oh.
Save me.
But but no, it was cool, and I hope the anime comes back soon. I don't think there's any
Does
word on that yet. But
Does Piccolo ever get a girlfriend?
I don't think so. No, because I don't think the Mechians like date.
Oh.
Like they just spit out eggs. Like there's no males or females. Like
Oh, they
yeah,
just they just spit out the eggs.
yeah, like the Grand Elder
Yeah,
just
but
goes. "Bleh."
can they always time when they lay their eggs?
No, I think it's just the one guy. I'm pretty sure the one guy makes like all the eggs.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's what it is. It is what it is.
Do you think you see like traits of autism in me?
You want this on the podcast? I would not be surprised if you're autistic. I would not be surprised whatsoever. If you are, great. If you're not, that's cool too. But
No, it's because like
I totally
you
suspect
know
you're
how
autistic.
like some autists like you like some people in the spectrum, they like to like rewatch stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
And I do that a lot with movies, and like and then I'm obsessed, like for some like amount of time I'm obsessed with some movies, and then I keep replaying them and watching them.
Yeah. And you
I was watching this like autism video, and then they were showing that like autistic people always do that.
yeah. I can break down the list of reasons why I think you might be autistic. I just don't know if you want like if that's like too personal though.
I don't know how personal are you getting here?
I don't know. I don't think we need to bring it up on the podcast, but yeah, no, I would not be surprised whatsoever if you're autistic. And I always find like autistic people tend to like attract each other. It's like this little like autistic magnet that I think we all have in us. Like so many of my friends are autistic. And it never fully clicked in why until like I was diagnosed with autism. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I get that. It's just because like I guess probably they're easier to relate to and easier to communicate with. Like when people talk about like autistic communication being bad, it's really just between autistics and allistics, right? Autistics and non-autistics. When you have two autistic people communicate, they can communicate a lot of the times fairly well. I guess it depends. Big wide spectrum. But I've said for myself, for example, I find it easier to talk to autistics and other neurodivergent people than I find it to talk to neurotypical people, right? People like to look at like autistics like they're the freaky little aliens of the group. But as an autistic person, I look at the neurodivergent world as being a little freaky and a little alien, you know?
Yeah. But also with like dyslexia, there's like stuff that I have like that are like that we have in common with like that are
Yeah.
similar.
Between autism and dyslexia?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like we both have problems with communication
Yeah? What's the reason for that with dyslexia though?
because sometimes like words can like sound like you say them in one way, but then it's wrong and you should say it in another way.
But
Like the way I say blueberries.
you do that on you can say blueberries.
Yeah, but in my head sometimes like it doesn't make sense, and
Yeah.
like a lot of words like I spell like it I see that often like when I spell stuff like on the computer
Yeah.
and then Google corrects it and I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense, but also the way I had it before made sense too."
It made sense to you.
Yeah, it made sense to me. And also like it's harder for me to translate,
Yeah.
so it makes it harder talk, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
But
English is your second language, right?
yeah.
You learned it at 13. So that on top of dyslexia does not make communication easy, you know.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things is like when you are texting me, like very frequently stuff's misspelled. But I assume like one of the difficult things for you must be when there's a word that you spell wrong, but you spell it in a way. Basically, you write a different word thinking that it is
Yeah,
a
thinking
certain
that
word.
it is
Yeah,
another word, and
like
I'm hoping that you'll like see that I was trying to do like this word.
yeah. No, I
But
get it.
like but like, you know,
Yeah, but like
often I rely on Google. I'm just like, fix this for me.
but if it's spelt like a correct different word, then it won't always be brought up, right? Spell check might not
Yeah.
catch it, right? Like last week, not that we have spell check with crayons, but when we were doing drawing time last week, um, you wrote down shocked as choked,
Yeah.
right? So it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, but to me, like that's how in my head I would have wrote it
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
Also, like when I have to punch in numbers, like sometimes I'll mistake, but that's dyscalculia. That's
yeah,
different. Sometimes like, oh, when I type in numbers or when I'm writing numbers, I'll see like I'll always think that 5 is 3 for some reason.
yeah.
And then like when I write my 5, it also looks like a 3, so then I'm like, "Oh, is that a?"
Hmm.
And then like when I think of 5, I always think of 3. And I don't know why.
Interesting.
It annoys me. It really
Interesting.
annoys me, and it makes math so much harder.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like always like, oh, 5, 3. And then I'm like, no, stop it. You bad brain.
Yeah.
Also, it's really hard to think of like numbers. Like I can't think of numbers in my brain. It's like a blockage.
Like what happens if you try to think of numbers?
Like if I try to calculate,
Oh,
like
so
I can't calculate in my head at all.
yeah.
Because it's a blockage.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
But yeah,
Yeah.
because I was
D-
diagnosed with dyslexia and then the dyscalculia with the numbers.
yeah. How old are you? Was that like kindergarten? That was early
The
on, right?
first grade,
First grade,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because I remember like meeting my first grade teacher and then saying goodbye to her I think the same day or something.
So
Because
sure.
like,
Hi. Oh, I can't read that. Bye.
well, I don't think it was the same day. I think it was just like I knew her for like a week,
Yeah.
and then like I did, and then like she realized that like I wasn't getting the alphabet or something,
Yeah.
and then I went for the test, and then I was moved to another class.
Yeah.
So I only knew that teacher for a week or so.
Hmm. One question I have for you is so when you do like if you were to text or read something written by another dyslexic person and they're misspelling words, does that make it harder for you? Do you not notice? Is it like where when you see like another dyslexic's typos, how does that affect your ability to understand it?
Well, I think they would be different than mine because like it
Yeah.
depends. Because I'm making mistakes because the way I learned English so late,
Yeah.
and then like always think in my head like what letters make what sound, and a lot of times I miss like silent letters
Yeah.
that English words have,
Yeah.
like knowledge. It starts with a K even though you don't hear
Yeah.
it, and then like
No,
other
English is
stuff like
rough.
that, and then like known, that's with the K too, and
Yeah.
then like sometimes they just add like like the J and H, like at the end of words, like enough or something.
The G in H?
Yeah, the G and H
Yeah.
is, yeah, and then I get confused, and
Yeah.
sometimes I write the word and I'm like, there should be some silent letters, but I don't know. Sometimes I just give up and I just like talk to Google and it writes it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, thank you, Google.
Hey, I'm not dyslexic and I talk to Google all the time. Don't know how to spell anything these days.
But I feel like I make like most of the like errors like with like how I think it should be written with the sounds.
Yeah.
With other people might do it differently because they might have learned English like early on.
Yeah.
Like that's their first language, and I think it would be different than
Yeah.
stuff I do.
No, that's fair. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Hey, talking about numbers, one thing that came into my head that I'm not sure if I've talked about on another podcast, I think I talked about this on one of the ones that one of our episode 2 podcasts that we tried and failed and went back and forth a few times because we recorded like 3 different episode 2s, is in my mind, there are colors associated with certain numbers.
Yeah, I think it's a certain disorder, but
Yeah, I don't know. Well, with me, I always thought it was because of the game Sorry. I remember playing the game Sorry. I used to play that all the time at my grandparents' house. I remember playing the
yeah.
game Sorry, and I remember seeing, like, in my mind, 1 is red, 4 is blue, 7 is green, 11 is yellow.
But what is colored in the game? Sorry.
But that's the thing. If you look back at it, the cards are black and white.
But you got this from that game?
Yeah.
Or is it like
but no,
Uno?
in my head, it can't be Uno because
Or
with-
Skidbo?
I don't think so.
Mm.
Maybe.
But did you play a lot of Skidbo?
No.
Did you play a lot of Uno?
Yeah, but no, with Uno, though, all the cards are colored the same thing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Right? You have your yellows, your reds, your blue, green. But in my mind, 1 is red. 5 might be red. That's debatable. 4 is blue. 7 is green. And 11 is yellow. But it might be that, like, I associate... And I think of it because of the game of Sorry, even though those are black and white. But the only thing I can think of is I associate those numbers with actions, and I associate colors with those actions, right? Like 1's kind of like red hot, and hey, you're getting out, you're going into the start. Like, that's what 1 is. For blue, if you play a 4 in Sorry, you go back 4 spaces, right? So it makes sense that blue would be for back. 7 makes sense to me because with a 7, you can like split it. So you can have like one piece go forward 3 spaces, another space go up 4 spaces. So it makes sense that would be green to me. And yellow just seems like the color that you would like swap pieces with. And that's what you do with the yellow in that game. So like I associate those colors with actions and I associate those numbers with those actions. So maybe that's what's going on. But I don't know. It's like I've said to you before about like so-called psychics and all this stuff, and I don't believe in that whatsoever. But
do you see, like, when you hear like the number 1, do you see colors?
if I think of one, then it's like, and it's not like I'm literally seeing it. It's like it's in the back of my head.
Oh, okay.
Right, I see it in the back. Like I think like front of mine and back of mine are like in the front.
It's like those people.
Front
like,
is what I see, what I feel, what I blah, blah, blah. Back is like when you have like a song in your head and you're like, you know. So it's in the back of my mind.
Yeah, but have you heard of those people that see like colors when like a certain notes play or something?
Well, yeah, I wonder. I've always had like a, but I don't know. It's hard because I don't know what anyone else's brain is like, and I don't know like how vivid it is. But like imagery will come into my mind when I listen to music, right? And I remember the first time listening to the song 444 by Jay-Z. That's my favorite song of his. And I remember just standing out in the backyard at night with my headphones on, listening to that. And in the back of my mind, I just saw like flashes of color just popping, you know. So I don't know. When I've talked about the color thing before, some people said that's like, I think synesthesia. Is that what it's called?
I think something like that, yeah.
So
But
I don't know if I
most of the
fall.
time it happens with like music and numbers.
Yeah, I don't know if I fall into
Some,
that category. I don't know if there's a test
yeah.
for it or what. But like, because when I hear it described, I always feel like people are talking about it as like it's something that they like vividly get. Whereas with me, it's this foggy little thing in the
Yeah.
back.
You also can, people with that anesthesia, whatever, they also like, some of them can see like auras, like some people are some colors.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say too. So with the whole aura thing, right? I don't believe I don't believe in the psychic stuff. I don't believe in really
No,
anything
but they
supernatural.
don't believe in it either. It's just like when they look at people, there's a certain color around them.
So my assumption with that, my assumption for anyone who claims that they like can see or sense auras is they associate certain characteristics and certain attributes with certain colors, right?
Yeah,
To be overly
probably.
simplistic, yellow is happy, blue is sad, right? Just to be overly simplistic, right? So I think that if you're somebody who's happy-go-lucky, do, people will see you and just associate that with yellow, for example. Or if you're gloomy and sad, associate that with blue, right? Or it could be vice versa. It could be blue, it could be yellow, it could be whatever. That doesn't matter. But I think that's what's happening. That might be me trying to find like a more logical answer for it than like, ooh, look at these colors. But yeah, I don't believe in like spirits. I don't believe in like auras, but I think people just give vibes, you know, for one reason or another, and maybe people are associate vibes with colors, so they're just communicating the vibe, but instead of saying words, they're saying, "Oh, you're pretty yellow. That's pretty green. That's pretty," you know. Like with me, with the sorry cards, right?
But you
4
said
is you
they
go
weren't
backwards.
colored
Yeah,
at all.
but I remember them colored, but I went back and checked, and it's all black and white.
Maybe it's different game.
Yeah, I need to check the skipbo cards.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Or maybe it's like the same game, it's just like a different
Like a different
version.
edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be. I don't know. It's weird how the brain works. One thing that I wonder, and I don't know if this is a common trait with autistics who know how to mask, like me, you know, who were diagnosed later in life, is especially when I was in a situation where I was out in the public more, and before doing Danica Daydreams, I was working sales jobs. My last one was in a store. So I'd regularly have to mask. I'd regularly have to, you know, try to blend in and see, ooh, how am I supposed to act? I would spend a lot of time trying to think about my current strategy and think about what needs to change about that, right? In terms
Like
of,
how you communicate?
yeah, like the way I would communicate was very much manufactured, but it's not something that like I set once and then just stuck with, and it's not something that I like naturally kind of morphed over time. I mean, there's some of that. There's some of that for sure. But I would just be in the shower and I'd be like, okay, well, if somebody says this, I should probably act more like this because I think that what they want out of me is this, and this is
But this
in,
is like really rehearsing, like
but it's
conclusion wise.
but I'm not talking purely just about like scripting. Or maybe this is a part of scripting. I got a lot to learn about autism. I'm no expert in autism. I'm just an autistic guy. Like
That's
that's
another
that's it.
thing that I don't know why I do it. Maybe it's a sign that I do have autism, but
Maybe.
I do it often where like I rehearse a scenario and then I got talk through it.
Yeah.
But it's like
But
really annoying thing. Like I don't really want to be doing it.
what I'm saying though is like there'll be scenarios where like I rehearse like the specific thing, right? Maybe I have a job interview with someone and I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to act like this. I'm going to act like this. I'm going to do, right? Um but on a larger scale than that, there's also ways that I would specifically act just broader and more generally, right? And that's something that especially previously when I was trying to spend a little more time trying to mask and fit in, And also when I was in those public spaces more often and I had to engage with all kinds of people more often, I would go and try a strategy for a while and go, okay, wait, that part of that strategy doesn't work. That part of that strategy doesn't work. And then I would tweak it. And then I would spend the next few weeks acting out this new version of it that I came up with. And I would just try to read reactions. I try to see, oh, okay, they seem to react like this. So this part I should keep doing. Hey, they didn't seem to react well with that. That's how I should keep doing. The tough thing is, though, with neurotypicals, they don't always tell you what they mean. And
Yeah.
sometimes they hide that. But yeah, no. So it wasn't purely just. Sometimes there are times where, yeah, I'd script for specific interactions, but I'd have more of a general plan and strategy for communicating in general. And that is something I would routinely go back to, think about. Like, I'd just be standing in the shower the whole time going, okay, if somebody says this, I should act like this. Oh, I should ask more questions about this. I should do this less. I should do this more, yada, yada, yada. And slightly tweak and slightly refine that until I got to a point where I kind of altered myself to a point that was acceptable for them, I guess, which is the unfortunate
Yeah.
part of it.
But
Yeah.
yeah, the thing is with that is that I often like forget a lot with dyslexia, and then like I can rehearse something, but it's
But then
like
it's gone.
it's gone. And that it's so hard to interview for jobs, and I'm really horrible at interviewing for a job because I can rehearse like what I want, and then like as soon as I'm there, as soon as I get stressed, I forget everything. And
Yeah.
then like it's just like panicking mode like
I get that.
immediately.
Yeah.
And then the person is staring at you, and it's like it's only you and this other person in the room, and it's like, "Oh my god, I forgot everything. I'm panicking and stressing and just
Yeah.
like want to get out." And then I talk really fast because I want to like just get out of there because it's like a small space and it's just like two people and I feel uncomfortable. And yeah, it just never works out, and my brain just never lets me do the interview, and it's just like the most horrible thing. And
Yeah.
like it makes me want to cry every time.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's just that's why like I would always just get the like shitty jobs,
Yeah.
which
You
is
worked
like
a lot
really
of shitty jobs.
yeah, but that's
Yeah.
because I couldn't do the interview because it's just too hard.
Yeah.
Like why can't like why can't I be like more I can't I don't understand why I can't just tell them, "Hey, like it's going to be hard for me to do an interview. Can't we just like I don't know,
Yeah.
like I would like it's also because like they use all these like big words in the
Yeah.
interview, like when they do interviews, and then like I'd just be like, what does that word mean?
A lot of the time it's just like BS corporate talk.
I know,
anyways.
but I don't
synergy. And
I don't understand that monologue, that's
yeah.
those words. And
Yeah.
why do you have to use those words? Why can't you make it more accessible for everyone?
Yeah. I guess the thing is, though, they do want to know how you perform in more stressful situations. But the question is, like, is there a difference between, like, how you perform in kind of an interview setting versus how you perform dealing with, like, an upset customer, for example?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I just
It's
wish
a tough one.
it was more accessible for everyone, like with disabilities and everything.
Yeah.
And so that everyone had a chance, not just like the neurotypical
Yeah.
people that come in for interviews, you know?
Yeah. But no, it's stacked against. I don't know what the employment rate is with, like, dyslexic, but I know with, like, autistic people, I think, like, 85% of autistics don't have a job.
But also it goes back
It's-
to like
yeah.
dyslexia, and you have to explain everything in a different way
Yeah.
for me to understand it.
Yeah.
So I understand why don't get the job usually,
Yeah.
because you have to explain it differently, and then I say an answer that doesn't comply with what they want because I'm explaining it in a different way that they don't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's fair. I hope that's something that changes. I hope that as time goes on, there'll be more knowledge about just the fact that people are wired differently. Different people are wired differently, and I feel like the old-fashioned thing of one size fits all, and here's the way things are going to be, and either you're going to be left out, or you're going to have to like force yourself and change yourself to fit into what our ideal mold of you will be. Like, I hope that we can move away from that, because that's bullshit. It
Yeah.
it just is. Um, yeah, and I mean it goes back once again to our whole thing: embrace the weirdness that life has to offer. We think the world would be a more kind, compassionate, and creative place if we just embrace difference, right? And just say, look, you don't have to act like me. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to be what I want you to be. Just be yourself. Be kind. Be respectful. Don't hurt anyone. And that's it.
Yeah.
But for so many people, they don't think that that's enough. And that's what upsets me.
It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, you just have to live a more difficult path
Yeah.
than everybody else,
Yeah.
which is pretty shady.
Yeah, you just leave people behind. And it might be better for a company's bottom line, but I think it leads to a worse society and a worse community. You know, I think there's too much focus on how much can I take, right? How much can I get? What's the best way of doing that? If I have to fuck someone over to make a few extra bucks, I'm going to do that. Tell me how. Sign me up. I'm ready, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like I I can't bring myself to do that just for
No.
more money.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
No. I think everyone should have the basics covered.
Yeah, and also like with interviews, like they could alternate like, oh, these are the questions for like neurotypical and these are the question for
Neurodivergent.
yeah,
Yeah.
cuz then it just opens up and makes them more comfortable
Yeah.
going through that process.
Totally. Or just offer the option, you know?
Yeah.
It depends on the job. Like some jobs, like I would argue with a lot of the sales jobs that I worked, it makes sense to have somebody in an uncomfortable situation, right? Because if you're uncomfortable talking to someone for the interview, you're probably going to be uncomfortable talking to the customers. And I can tell you, when I was doing sales, I was very uncomfortable in my interview. The manager at the time said, I'm great on paper and good in person, you know? And I was also uncomfortable talking to customers. I worked sales jobs. I was an employee for sales jobs between 2014 to 2021. That's 7 years. I don't know if I ever had a day working a sales job where I didn't feel uncomfortable talking to someone. Not saying I was uncomfortable talking to everyone. And some days I wouldn't be uncomfortable talking to most people, right? But I always feel uncomfortable. And I think at the end of the day, the important thing, at least for me, is there are times where if the option is don't do anything or do it and be uncomfortable, sometimes the right answer is just do it and be uncomfortable. Not always, but sometimes, you know? And I feel like by me putting myself in those uncomfortable situations slowly over time, I did get more comfortable talking to people, right? I had one sales job where I would work 12-hour shifts, very long days. At the beginning of the day, for the first month or two I was there, the first few hours of every single shift, I'd be shaking when talking to customers. And then you get about halfway through the day, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better, you know? I've had tons of uncomfortable situations with tons of not so happy people all the time, you know? But I think regularly pushing myself out there, that little slow nudges bit at a time out of my comfort zone, help me get a little more comfortable, you know? It's important to be uncomfortable sometimes. But at the same time, too, I think as a society, as a whole, we should find ways to make more people comfortable. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it's been a very comfortable conversation. What's those? Do you know what time it is, Monica?
Yes, coming up. Drawing time.
Drawing time!
Drawing time!
It's drawing time.
Karate chop.
All right. So for those who don't know, drawing time is the time when we draw. I will shake up the squid head. Monica will pick out an idea, and we'll see what we get. Shake!
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 Oh, I picked it too. Yeah.
Here, no, we reshake. Let's reshake.
Okay.
I don't trust that. I don't trust that.
It was they were inside each other.
Monica, you don't have to get so graphic.
I needed to describe the situation.
Oh, this is yours.
Oh,
I can tell by the writing. Okay.
okay.
Mine weren't that great. This weekend.
Pajama Sam traveling to Chocolate Lagoon on a duck. On a duck's back.
Okay, I'm down for that. So it is Pajama Sam traveling to a chocolate lagoon on a duck's back.
Yeah.
Pajama Sam is where it's at, though.
Yeah, I love broccoli. The broccoli woman.
Yeah.
That's just because I like broccoli, I think.
You're obsessed with broccoli. We had some broccoli last night. It was good.
Yeah. We need more.
More broccoli. I'm sad that they don't have more Pajama Sam. You know, I feel like Pajama Sam would work.
What number did they stop at?
I don't know. Maybe they did 4, maybe 5. I remember the original 3, and then I think they made one for the Wii or something like that. But that was when I was, I aged past the group that would typically be playing those games. If you had a duck, what would you name it?
Just egg pooper.
Monica.
Oh, we already have the
done
egg
that.
pooper. Okay.
Already have egg pooper.
I don't know. What do you think is a duck name?
I don't know, like quackers.
There's always Donald, or I could call it something else. I'm not sure.
But seriously, though, Pajama Sam should come back.
Is he always writing on a donut?
No! There's not like, once again, 4 or 5 games of him, and every one he's riding on a donut. That's just in number 3.
I just don't remember what he's writing on most of the time.
If we ever have like a gaming channel or anything,
We should play all of
we
them.
should play all of them.
Yeah.
I'm dreaming.
I remember this weird planet game I used to play when I was young. It's it's like this bird that would go to different planets in this spaceship. I don't remember.
I remember playing this game where you're like a bug walking around in grass, and you gotta like run away from a person's foot as they're like stomping down. I remember playing that on a Macintosh computer in like kindergarten, grade 1, no, kindergarten, I think. It would have been like the late 90s, early 2000s. It would have been the early 2000s that I played the game. It was on a Mac computer. I only played it once or twice. I think just once. But if anyone knows what that game's called, let me know. I want to go back and see if there's a way I can play it. It was great. Oh, and there were so many great computer games as a kid, like Math Circus. That one was good.
Yeah, and which one is the one with the cow and that does all these numbers?
Yeah. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called, but I wonder what the kids these days have. I guess I could ask one of my younger brothers.
Also remember this game with motorcycles and the lights, and it's like
Like a racing game?
it's like it's in a square. It's like Tron. It's like Tron, and it's in a square, and you have to not touch the end of the square, and but you're against all these other people with the light
Interesting.
bikes.
Is it an actual like Tron game?
I think it's like a rip-off one that we used to play on the school computers.
Yeah, I never played though. That sounds fun.
I
Sounds
used
like a
to
good old time.
I used to win all the time, and everybody would get mad at me. And I used to call myself Moondy Hoop, and they would never know who it was. And then every time,
not
like they
know?
would get mad, they're like, "Moondy Hoop beat me again," and then I would be happy and laughing. I made my pajama Sam look creepy. It's too late now. He's creepy.
My guy's cool. All right, mine's perfect. Mine's finished.
Oh no.
And you will weep when you see it. Oh, no, Dan was so perfect. I'm so jealous. And you should weep. You better. You're going to cry. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Monica,
Yes.
would you like to see mine first?
Yes.
Okay, so one thing I got to remind you of how you wrote this, because I was originally going to do this totally different. It doesn't say Pajama Sam traveling on a chocolate lagoon on Duckback.
No.
It says traveling to Chocolate Lagoon on a Duckback.
Yeah, that's how I write it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because my guy is not on the lagoon.
But that's not how I wrote it.
Okay, good. So this is mine. So you can see, here's Pajama Sam. Here's a duck. But you know it's a cool duck for two different reasons. First of all, sunglasses, right? Cool duck right there. Secondly, skateboard.
Yeah.
It's skating on its way to, and my writing's pretty bad. It says now entering Chocolate Lagoon.
Yeah.
And there you go. And there's a little bit of a Chocolate Lagoon.
Ooh.
They see everyone's having a good time. Skating down, probably a longboard, really, which is even cooler, some would say. And yeah, this is mine. Do you like it?
Yeah.
You have any thoughts? Any comments?
This is cool.
It is cool. Yeah. All right, can I see yours?
So I did this Pajama Sam, and he's
Is
on.
he eating something?
Yeah, it's like it's chocolate palm tree.
Oh, okay.
So
so it's got bite marks coming out of it.
Yeah,
Okay,
so you
yeah,
see
yeah,
he's
yeah.
eating the palm trees.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and he's really
What's
hungry.
the leaf made out of, though? Because he's going straight
It's
for the leaf right here.
It's green chocolate.
Green chocolate. I don't trust
Yeah.
green chocolate.
Oh.
Suspicious.
I forgot. Looking at yours, though, I forgot the cape.
You did forget the cape.
Yeah.
You could say that's its cape, and he just took it off and like put it on the duck. Like what is this? It looks like a massive pimple that he's standing on.
No, it's just the duck. Like I made him like orange and yellow.
Oh, okay. It's like its wing.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
it's like egg pooper. How he's like
Okay.
orange and yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very lovely duck. I like that a lot. I like the creativity here. I like the fact that it's chocolate trees. That's a cool touch.
Yeah.
But isn't he traveling on Chocolate Lagoon right now?
Yeah, like that's chocolate river thing.
So even though you wrote this, you did that.
Well, why?
Because this is him traveling. He's supposed to be traveling to the Chocolate Lagoon. It looks like he's already at the Chocolate Lagoon.
Oh, but maybe like the water just started changing to chocolate.
Oh.
But like he's arriving at Chocolate Lagoon and he's he's seeing all the trees.
Well, it could be another before and after, although he's got the cape in mind.
Maybe I should like keep thinking before I draw.
Well, you wrote the idea down.
I know, but
And I thought that you like wrote it that way by accident. I thought this is what you meant the entire time. It wasn't until I took a second look at this.
Maybe I wrote it wrong. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's all good. It is all good. But I like that. That's cool. I like that he's like having a little chocolatey snack. But he doesn't have a skateboard. He doesn't have sunglasses. So is it really the best? Is yours the best? Or is mine the best?
I made him look creepy.
Let us
though.
know. You did. He looks freaky.
Yeah, he looks creepy. His mouth.
I like it. See, mine's a happy-go-lucky fella right here.
Yeah, I know.
But let us know in the comments below which one you like more. For Monica's or Dan's?
Mine.
Monica's?
Yeah, Monica's.
Or Dan's?
Yeah.
Comment below. Let us know. And, yeah, I think... Oh! Comment below. Let us know which one you like more. Dan's?
Mine.
Or Monica's?
Monica's.
Dan's?
It's Monica's.
Or Monica's? Let us know. And this has been the Danica Daycast.
Yeah.
We hope you have enjoyed. And
visit our website if you want to buy some cool merch.
if you live in Canada,
yeah,
danicadaydreams.ca. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed. As always, check us out on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and all that lovely stuff. And at danicadaydreams.ca. Goodbye. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you next week. Goodbye. Okay, we tied there.